There's more to imagine when you listen. So let your imagination soar with Audible. Audible has audio titles from every genre that will inspire you to imagine new worlds, possibilities, and ways of thinking. As an Audible member, you get to choose one title a month to keep from their entire catalog. Enjoy an exciting reawakening of a beloved classic with the Audible original David Copperfield by Charles Dickens, produced by Academy Award-winning director Sam Mendes, starring Ncuti Gatwa, Helena Bonham Carter, and Theo James. This adaptation breathes new life into a familiar tale. New members can try Audible free for 30 days. Visit audible.com/imagine or text IMAGINE to 500-500. That's audible.com/imagine or text IMAGINE to 500-500.
Are you struggling to close deals? Cold outreach is wasting the time of both the buyer and seller at every stage, especially when sellers are using shallow and outdated data. Your organization can overcome these challenges with technology that translates comprehensive, high-quality buyer data into real-time insights. These deeper insights empower sales reps and teams to adopt the habits of top performers, which leads to better outcomes, like more pipeline, higher win rates, and larger deals. We call this deep sales. And we've built the first deep sales platform with the next generation of LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Right now, you can try LinkedIn Sales Navigator and get a 60-day free trial at linkedin.com/trial. That's linkedin.com/trial for a 60-day free trial. Let LinkedIn Sales Navigator help you sell like a superstar today. Just go to linkedin.com/trial and get started.
Welcome to How to Survive with Danielle and Christine, the show that teaches you how to survive the things that can kill you.
Like earthquakes.
Oh, yesterday.
Just had one. Dads with COVID. Just had one.
Yep.
Sinking cruise ships.
Ooh. And things that just make you wish you were dead.
Like caffeine mismanagement again.
Yes.
How about marine grade polymer mentions? Or broken luggage.
Oh, yes.
So
Those are all bad.
sad.
By the way, when I was at my dad's house yesterday, I was putting something in his garbage disposal. I had the garbage disposal on. And then that's when the earthquake started. But I didn't realize that at first. And I thought, fuck, the garbage disposal's broken. And that's one more thing I have to deal with. And then it was the earthquake.
That's hilarious. I'll tell you my earthquake story next week.
Oh, okay.
And
You know what we should get to, though?
oh, the theme song.
The theme song, yeah.
God,
yeah.
we love that song.
Yeah, we'd love it.
Ground is shaking under our feet. Mountains on fire, flooding in the street. Can't breathe the air, can't fight the feeling. Gobbling down Xanax ain't the way to be dealing. Gotta do better than just getting high. We gotta stick together if we're gonna survive. How to survive. How to survive.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome.
Welcome to you.
We have, hopefully, by the time you're hearing this, fixed the link on our website to our merch.
Oh, yeah.
Because it had the wrong link. But we have brand new merch.
We do.
That Chris came up with that is so great.
Oh, thanks.
And I think you all really like it. So if for some reason it doesn't take you to the right one, you can just go to
our link tree on Instagram.
our link tree on Instagram or Threadless, and you might be able to find it that
links
way.
on our Substack.
Yeah.
And, we'll probably give some away on our bonus episode.
Oh,
Do a little giveaway.
Oh, wow. That
for
would be
our
great.
patrons. So listen to our bonus and we'll have a little fun contest. And, we got to get Garen a shirt so he can wear it on the show.
I think I want a Kieran Culkin shirt for sure.
I think it's your shirt.
Yeah.
So we got to get you one. We got to figure out what color you want.
Yeah. And one more thing, speaking of Substack.
Yes.
Stephen Kieran, who was a guest of ours who told that amazing story about his family, and we're like, when are you going to make this a book? He is making it in installments on Substack.
Oh, nice.
And what did we learn? Well, I'll tell you the address. I can't remember it now. It's, Stephen Kiernan .substack, whatever. But
and we can
but you
put
can
it-
hear him read. Some of it's free, not the stuff about the book, but other stories he has are free. Other ones you have to subscribe to.
Yeah.
But you can hear him read them, which is great because he is such a great storyteller and such a great voice.
You know what's nice about our Substack? It's
Yeah.
all free.
Yep.
We don't charge.
Nope.
Someday maybe we will, but
Yep.
you know what?
Oh, we're fancy.
We're not fancy yet. We just like giving it free to the people that we love. You know who you are. So remember we had Christine Blackburn on?
Yes.
And she told that really funny story about peeing her pants.
At the football game.
And
it was freezing.
Yes.
And she was wearing layers and layers.
Yes. So I'm not going to talk about that.
Okay.
But what I am going to do is tell you, I once went on her show
Oh.
and talked about my terrible experience working on a cruise ship.
Yes.
That leads into our topic today.
Okay.
Which is how to survive a cruise.
Oh.
Okay, so that may not surprise you that my number one piece of advice is to not take a cruise.
Don't take a cruise,
okay?
yeah.
So my main goal today is to convince all of our listeners to never take a cruise.
Okay.
But if you still insist, I will give you some tips if you do get yourself in a cruise nightmare situation.
Okay.
But before that, I'm going to just try to talk you out of ever doing it, okay?
Okay.
So, all right, first reason I'm going to tell you never take a cruise,
Yeah.
right? They are environmental nightmares, okay?
Oh.
So it's kind of crazy they even still let cruises happen to begin with. I'm going to tell you that a medium-sized cruise ship spews greenhouse gas emissions equivalent to those of 12,000 cars,
What?
okay? Okay, so
Oh my God.
yeah, it's kind of crazy, okay?
Maybe we can get electric cruise ships.
Do you know there's a cruise ship that's already doing that
No.
in Norway? It's trying to be completely carbon neutral.
How fantastic.
And it uses batteries and it doesn't have any
But then when the batteries get wet in the water, it rusts.
And then,
you
yeah.
open it and your doll's ruined.
they do ruin the dolls on the
Remember?
ship. Yes, I remember the sludge that comes
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Speaking of sludge, the cruise ship industry has been dogged by bad PR from everything from routine dumping of toxic sludge to increasingly organized outrage from communities tired of hordes of tourists getting dumped at their docks. So a lot of the countries where these people go and get dumped off the cruise ships, those countries are like, no.
But isn't it good for their tourism and for their economy?
It's too much.
It's too much.
You know, I don't remember who was talking to me about this just recently. I don't think it was on the show that in bigger cities in Europe, like in Florence and Madrid, the people in those countries are going up to tourists with super soakers and spraying them.
I think I heard
Was that
about
you?
that. No,
Because they're like, get out of here. We can't enjoy our own cities because you guys are ruining it. Okay.
That's hysterical.
So-
How is that going to help?
I don't know.
Are they going to get back on the ship because they were soaked?
But, whoa,
Whoa.
I'm sorry. I forgot to turn my phone off and I have an unknown caller. And I'm going to turn that off.
They
Okay.
want money from you. 4
companies, Carnival, Royal Caribbean, Norwegian Cruise Lines, and MSC control the lion's share of the cruise market. Okay, so they've made some positive moves, right? But most of the vessels continue to mostly use diesel, okay? And then with the notable exception of this company, Norwegian, which I told you about, that's trying
Fantastic.
to do these really ethical, like gas ships. Okay. The big players' current environmental plans primarily hinge on using something called LNG, which is liquefied natural gas. And they think this is better. Okay. LNG is also been found to be likely worse for global climate change than if the cruise lines had stuck with petroleum. Okay.
okay.
So that's not actually a solution. It could actually be making the problem bigger. Okay, so some climate activists say there's a good argument that the cruise industry shouldn't exist at all. I'm one of those people.
Yeah.
I think that. So some passengers say Carla Hart, an activist with Juno Cruise Control and co-founder of the Global Cruise Activist Network, will even stop to defend the industry, saying how switching to LNG, listen to this, or phasing out plastic straws has solved cruising's environmental problem.
Oh, please.
Right? That fixed it.
Oh my God. That's ridiculous.
So customers want to believe they can have the perfect vacation advertised on television and online, even though they know the reality of what they will get is far different, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this is bananas to me. A new Time survey, this is from Time Magazine, conducted by the Harris Poll backs up some of those points. To environmental campaigners, cruising stands out as perhaps the most polluting sort of vacation. But fully half of Americans surveyed consider taking a cruise to be eco-friendly.
You know what? I gotta say, I don't think it would have occurred to me. All I've thought about since you told me your experience working on a cruise ship is that the employees are treated terribly. But I don't think I know it sounds naive, but I don't think I would have even thought about the environmental impact.
It's really the worst way to environmentally to travel.
Wow. Okay.
So most Americans regard flying as being bad for the environment, despite cruising's bigger carbon footprint per passenger. So like 50% of Americans are like, yeah, eco travel.
Water. You're on the water. It's nature.
Cruise.
Yeah.
So that's my first reason I would say never
No
go on a
cruise.
cruise.
Yeah.
It's really bad for the environment. Second,
What if you really like towels that are shaped like animals on your bed?
I mean, look,
I don't know where else you can get that. I'm just saying.
I have never taken a cruise as a
Right.
passenger, but I have many times been in a hotel where I had a towel shaped like an animal.
Oh, okay.
So-
well, problem solved then.
Problem solved.
Because that was the part I liked the best.
Okay, well, I can tell you many places you can go and get those
Great.
towel-shaped animals. Here's the next reason. Sexual assault is rampant on cruise ships
Of passengers.
and crew.
Okay, the crew, yeah.
Passengers more widely, it seems, but it's both.
Really?
It's
Why?
really, I'm going to tell you.
Oh, you know why? Free-flowing alcohol.
There you go. Since 2015, sexual assault has been the most reported crime on cruise ships, with more than 450 cases reported between 2015 and 2022, Insider reported. While that number is high, a new report by the U.S. Department of Transportation found that cruise ship sexual assault reports to the Federal Bureau of Investigation in 2023 increased. So they're going up.
And that's just Waystar Royco.
That's just, that's just those guys' ship. These numbers are also likely less than the true number of sexual assaults because, according to RAINN, which we know is the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network, close to 2/3 of cases go unreported.
Wow.
And that's in general with
yes,
rape. So
yeah.
that's not a surprising statistic. So they started publishing these in 2010 when the Department of Transportation passed the Cruise Vessel Security and Safety Act of 2010. Okay, Carnival, the most rapey. So if you're going to go on a cruise,
It's a carnival of rape.
it is. It's known.
All different kinds of rape.
You can get it many different ways.
There are actual carnies there waiting to rape you.
Yes. And you know,
That's why they call it carnival.
they have those long mustaches
Oh, yeah. The old-timey
that
mustaches.
kind of come down like Sam Elliott, but it's not in a good way.
No.
Listen, what I'm going to tell you is if you want to listen to my story with Christine, you will know that one of the scariest things that happened to me on the ship was when I was told never walk alone in the hallways because there are so many rapes.
You told the story on this show, too.
I did.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know. I tell it everywhere.
It's your icebreaker at parties, isn't it?
Yeah, that's how I walk.
Did I ever tell you about how I
Hey.
could have been raped on a
Hey,
cruise ship?
did I ever tell you about when I was a slave, basically, on a cruise ship for, 4 days?
Pass the brie. 4 days.
Okay. Okay. Like I already told you, Carnival had the highest number of sexual assault reports. Oh, but Chris Chiamis, Chief Communications Officer for Carnival Cruise Lines, wrote to the Washington Post claiming that the company continues to invest millions of dollars each year in enhanced surveillance cameras in public areas. And the assaults tend to happen in guest rooms where there are no cameras. Right. Oh, okay. So, cool.
Well, they can't have cameras. I mean, they can't have cameras in the guest rooms.
No, but also, like, cameras don't stop it. Like, it's not like...
Right.
Yes. So, like they say, the main factor could be access to alcohol on board the ships. Also, bartenders on Carnival ships are not paid a regular salary and rely on tips, giving the employees incentive to sell excessive amounts of alcohol. So there's a direct correlation between excessive alcohol served on Carnival's fun ships and violence in general, and sexual violence against women in particular. Here's something really kind of gross. While some sex crimes have made it to court, many have been settled outside of it. They will do anything to keep victims quiet. Ross Klein, a professor at Memorial University of Newfoundland, told Insider about the cruise ship companies. They'll try to give freebies. They'll try to give a nicer cabin. They'll do what they can to make a person feel better.
Here's an upgrade.
Yeah.
Don't say anything.
Here's a balcony. Sorry, you got raped.
Jesus Christ.
So that's what they do to try to keep
They'll
it.
even leave their Thanksgiving dinner and go and get files and shred them.
Yes.
This is another Succession reference.
I love it.
That's all I know.
Let's see if you can work it in on here.
Okay.
Okay. Here's my third reason.
Yeah.
Not going to be surprising. What it's like to work on a cruise ship.
Right.
All right. You already know my story, but this is just going to, bolster that evidence. The main problem for workers is compliance with working hours. Working hours have been regulated internationally since 2006. That was before I got there. I mean, I was there before 2006.
Yeah.
But they're consistently violated. Okay? So frequent labor rights violations. So a woman, Angela Taberga, she's a professor of tourism. She did her doctoral thesis on this, and she examined working conditions on cruise ships. And she paid particular attention to these working hours. And these are the most common complaint among crew members. So although 8-hour days and 8-hour days, 6-day weeks are generally supposed to be the rule.
Yeah.
The reality is often 14 hours a day, 7 days a week. Okay? And that's the rule. And this is all the more true the lower the position of the employee.
The fucked up thing about that is this is a very regimented, scheduled thing. There's no reason why that shouldn't. It's not like, oh, you're making a movie and we lost daylight and we have to stay later. Like I'm sure things come up on ships, but really there's no reason they should not stick to whatever is scheduled.
Well, it's because they keep making cruise ships bigger with more people, but they're not increasing their
Employment
force.
But that's ridiculous.
Yeah, but that's how they make more profit for the people at the top. So and
They could be providing so many jobs.
yeah, but they're not.
Right.
Right? They're just making the people
Work longer.
So for many people, a job on a cruise ship is an opportunity to make a small fortune because they're, even though these salaries are low by European and U.S. standards, very low, they're significantly higher than the home countries of these crew members. So that's why they'll put up with very, very harsh working conditions.
And that's how the people at the top justify it.
I don't know how they who knows how they
I'm saying
yes,
like,
of course.
well,
this is
this
a lot
is
for
more
them.
they can make than
Yeah,
if they stayed at home.
Yeah,
So
and
we'll work them to the bone.
The same with, labor of, making clothes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows how they sleep at night? Luckily, we don't have to make those decisions. You know what we can do? Not go on a cruise. And then we don't have to.
I'm never going on a cruise again.
So the fact that salaries often don't meet the standards or regulations is that many of these cruise ships are registered in countries where other rules apply. So they register the cruise ships in the Bahamas or Panama. So because if it's like this one, for instance, there are no ships that sail under the German flag, for example.
Okay.
Because then those German ships would have to follow German
Labor
rules.
laws, which are stricter.
Yeah. Or if the U.S. cruise ships are probably registered in other countries.
Oh, where the
understand?
laws are different.
Where the laws are different. So they don't have to follow
Oh my God.
laws,
That's so fucked up.
union laws of
Yeah.
U.S. If you still insist on going on a cruise, despite me telling you not to, like maybe your mom bought tickets or
Yeah.
your dad or your family's like, we're taking everyone on a cruise. I know that
Right.
happens in some families.
Yeah.
That's never going to happen
No.
in my situation.
I know. It's a whole thing with like extended families.
And you're just like, I have to go even though
Yeah.
I really don't want to. So I got some tips from a website called The Survival Mom.
okay.
Which I honestly wish I would have came up with that idea. So she wants everyone to remember these are floating cities, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're often bigger in population than many U.S. small cities.
Wow.
And everyone's drinking. Remember that.
Yes.
All day, right?
Yeah.
So like, think about that if you like want to let your kids just roam free. Right?
Yeah.
Like I'm very much a fan of letting your kids roam
Yeah.
free. You know that? But like, I don't know, that's
It's
maybe
a
not.
little iffy.
It's a bar.
They have some cruises have like kids clubs.
Sure.
Where you're being supervised.
Yeah, that's a different situation.
Yeah.
But like this is a giant bar, right? So many of the injuries and deaths that occur on board are related to alcohol consumption, she says. I'm sure that's true. I didn't corroborate that fact. But we've already discovered that there's a lot of sexual assault. So it seems like a lot of the other crime would be connected to alcohol.
Oh, wait. Speaking of that, can I just interrupt for 1
Of
second?
course you can.
You know, there's an RFK Jr. cruise coming up.
Are you shitting me?
No, there's an RFK Jr. fundraiser cruise with the following celebrities.
I cannot wait.
Well, Cheryl Hines.
Sure, that's the comedy.
Yeah.
Get LOL.
Zachary Levi, who from Chuck. Who is that his name? Zachary Levi?
Yeah.
From Chuck, and he was also what's the character's name? Captain Marvel? No.
He was a superhero.
Shazam.
Shazam. He
A
was
dark-haired
Shazam.
guy.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, don't care about him
He's
at
in
all.
Harold and the Purple Crayon, which I think had
Okay.
the lowest opening of
Why would they make it an adult? I don't understand.
That feels like a risky career move.
Which part?
Going on this cruise.
Yes. Well,
like
okay.
in very liberal Hollywood to be like,
I know.
Oh, he's already out.
Okay.
His
Yeah, 'cause-
conservatism is already out.
Okay.
I don't like him. Also, I think he's an asshole if I'm not.
It's the anti-vax stuff, right? Isn't that where
I
he
think
started
that's-
popping up?
Part of it. Yeah, I think that's what it was.
And Drea De Matteo from, as you know, from
Sopranos.
and Joey, who has joined OnlyFans because she's not allowed to work in Hollywood anymore, according to her, because she wouldn't get vaccinated or something like that. And has her children take the pictures of her in suggestive poses.
gross.
And
That won't mess them up.
yeah, and then someone I've never heard of who was a influencer or something. And then who was the fourth person? I can't remember right now. But
Meta World Peace.
Meta World Peace, who I believe is a flat earther, right?
I don't even know who that is.
He's a basketball player.
Okay.
Legendary athlete, Meta World
But I
Peace.
think he's a flat earther.
Wow.
Influential Substack writer Jessica Reed Krause.
That was the person who I didn't know who was.
Okay.
So Oliver and I were talking about it, and I was like, I mean, Zachary Levi, like, he probably has enough money. He doesn't need that. Dre De Matteo for sure needs the
Yes.
change. And then I was like, wait a second, I could use that money. And Oliver's like, why don't you go on the cruise? And I said, yeah, I'll go on the cruise. And but then I realized that I'm very easily throwable. Someone could easily throw me
Yes.
off, including Drea De Matteo. Like
Yeah.
even with the nails, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure she could pick me up and throw me off.
But you've
the
done
side.
a lot of Pilates. You might be able to kick her ass.
Oh, maybe. But don't you think she's done Pilates?
I think she's also been in a lot of fights.
I think she's going to take off her earrings and
Yep.
get into a fight with
Yeah.
me.
She's got more like street fighting
She,
skills.
for sure.
Even though you probably are stronger physically.
Yeah, right. I don't know. She's probably a lot younger than me. So
No, I don't think so.
I don't know. But anyway, so that's that
Wow.
cruise that's happening.
Well,
It's a star-studded
Yeah.
yes.
sunset cruise.
Yeah, it's not like they're only going to be
Oh.
gone for a few hours.
They're
right?
giving away. They're giving away. There's like an award, like a contest you can enter if you like. One of the things you can win is $300 cash to spend as you please.
on the cruise.
Wow.
As you please.
Oh, okay.
it could
As
be-
you please.
You
Okay,
can go to
spend it on
Target if
whatever
you
you
want, I
want.
guess.
But you're not allowed to buy masks with them.
No,
COVID
no
tests.
masks. Absolutely.
So how much does it cost to get on the cruise?
Also, the chance to mingle with athletes, artists, and influencers.
But-
one of the four, I
One of the
assume,
four.
It's going to be there.
5 if you include Cheryl. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous.
Oh man, that's
So how much does it cost to get on this thing?
I bet it's $1,000 a ticket.
I don't
Oh,
know
I
where
bet that's low.
This is the sweepstakes page.
Okay.
Let me-
Okay.
I'll find
Anyway,
the
you tell us
cost and
later.
I'll tell
Okay.
you.
I just had to tell you about that.
Well, I'm going to give you the advice to make yourself familiar with the ship. Ships have a pocket-sized deck plan you can carry with you.
Okay.
Get one and study it so you'll know your way around an emergency. Don't carry your passport off the ship. Take a paper copy.
Oh,
Good advice. Control your alcohol intake.
Oof.
Seems good advice. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's something I thought was really good advice for travel in general. Take a picture of your family and friends as you get off the ship. Then if anyone gets lost, you're able to quickly describe what everybody's wearing.
Gotcha.
I thought, oh, that's so smart because I always think like when I haven't seen the kids in a while, I'm like, what were they wearing? And I'm like, I have no idea. Each person in your group should have a sheet of paper in their wallets with their personal information on it. So then if they get injured, they can just pull it out and look. Our phones have that now too.
What do they have? I'm sorry.
With like if you have your medical information.
Oh,
so like
okay.
if a person, if you just like go unconscious on the ground,
Yeah.
walking alone,
Right.
somebody can
Know what you
know what your deal is,
Right.
like right away. But
Okay.
you also have that medical ID on your phone. I have mine in my phone.
You do?
Yeah,
I don't think I had
even
anything
if
like that.
You can put it. I can show you
Okay.
how to do it. And then even if your phone's locked, see where it says
Oh,
emergency
yeah,
right here.
you can
The person can
pull it up.
access it. I
Yeah.
have that just in case, like I have a seizure. Somebody can look at my phone
Gotcha.
and find out. Oh, she's having a seizure.
That's what all that movement's about.
I had to look at the phone to get verified on that. Okay, here's what she thinks you should take on a cruise.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Duct tape,
What?
for sex stuff.
Okay.
No, she says a little bit can be helpful for holding together a broken zipper on luggage, along with other uses.
Okay.
It's like a good,
Okay.
everything for it could help you with your luggage maybe.
It could have, because I could have made a handle out of it.
Laundry soap. She said we didn't do any laundry. Like she's talking about her trip. Like if you have a slice of Dr. Bronner's, just if you're like you ran out of shampoo, you need a little body soap.
Gotcha.
You need to do water bottles with a filter. Ship breaks down.
Oh, yeah.
You want to have safe water. Protein or a meal replacement bar. So ships, you generally only have enough food to go for the length of the cruise for every person. So if there's an emergency that delays your ship for like 4
You're
days,
starting to eat the lower cabins.
you're going to eat the small people on the bottom. I mean the little people. I don't mean tiny people. You're going to not want the tiny. You don't have any fat on you.
Right.
I'm going for the big people.
Yeah.
Emergency radio?
Huh. Okay. I'm pretty sure the ship will have those.
I don't know.
that you need to bring
Wait till you hear my story.
Oh.
Packet of Clorox wipes. Always good.
Okay.
Hand sanitizer.
Yes.
Small LED flashlights and whistles.
Okay.
All right. So, if there's an emergency, often all the power will go out. And think of the whistle. Remember Titanic?
Yes. Yes. Also, if a hot guy walks by in a Speedo,
Oh, yeah.
you want to let him know you appreciate his.
And I can't do
form.
that. I can't do that kind of whistle.
Oh, no, I can't do that wolf thing.
Oh, I just bring a slide whistle.
Oh. I don't have one of those, so I just use a Chinese yo-yo. So I just go, and it'll touch the person and come back.
Oh, you guys are killing me today. Extra medication.
Yes.
And bring all the OTC drugs, the over-the-counter
Yes.
drugs. They sell them on the ship.
Oh, I'm sure they're a fortune.
They're a fortune. And if there's a breakdown, you want to have your own. You don't want to be fighting with...
When I travel, I do usually bring a couple of days extra doses of whatever medication I'm on for that reason. Like for wherever, like what if we got stuck somewhere?
Yes. So smart. So she has more tips, and I recommend you go to the Survival Mom and check them out.
Awesome.
But you know what? I'm going to stop talking about her because I wanted to have time for our story, guys.
Okay.
Because I got a good one.
I can't wait.
All right. So I'm going to tell you the story of the Costa Concordia.
Okay.
This was from 2012. All right. Have you guys heard of this?
No.
All right, listen.
Sounds like a ghost ship.
Yes.
Strap in, guys. Put your strap-ons on.
Okay.
The Concordia was supposed to take passengers on a 7-day Italian cruise from Civitavecchia to Savonia. I'm saying all this wrong.
Okay.
But when it deviated from its planned path to sail closer to the island of Giglio, the ship struck a reef known as Skull Rocks. Why?
Yeah, why did it do that?
deviate? Okay, well, I'm going to tell you. During the ensuing trial, because there's a trial,
Oh boy.
prosecutors came up with a tabloid-ready explanation. The married ship captain had sailed it close to the island to impress a much younger Moldovan dancer with whom he was having an affair. He said, this guy, Captain Schettino, he insisted the ship sailed close to shore to salute other mariners and give passengers a good view. But whatever the reason, the Italian courts found the captain, 4 crew members, and 1 official from the ship's company to be at fault for causing the disaster and preventing a safe evacuation. Oh, guess what? The company was part of Carnival. So
Oh boy. So wait, why was the rest of the crew held responsible?
they seemed to be in, not cahoots, but also partly responsible for the ensuing tragedy, which I will get into.
Oh, boy.
Okay. Evidence introduced in Schettino's trial suggests that the safety of his passengers and crew wasn't his number one priority as he assessed the damage to the Concordia. The impact and water leakage caused an electrical blackout on the ship, and a recorded phone call with Costa Crocier's crisis coordinator, Roberto Ferrarini, shows he tried to downplay and cover up his actions by saying the blackout was what actually caused the accident. I've made a mess and practically the whole ship is flooding, Schettino told Ferrarini while the ship was sinking. What should I say to the media?
Oh my God. I may have heard of this.
To the port authorities, I have said that we had a blackout. So Ferrarini was later convicted for contributing to the disaster by delaying rescue operations as well. Okay. So Schettino, the captain, also didn't immediately alert the Italian Search and Rescue Authority about the accident. The impact on the Skull Rocks occurred at about 9:45 p.m. local time, and the first person to contact rescue officials about the ship was someone on the shore, according to the investigative report. Search and Rescue contacted the ship a few minutes after 10 p.m., but Schettino didn't tell them what happened for about 20 more minutes.
Okay.
A little more than an hour after impact, the crew began to evacuate the ship. But the report noted that some passengers testified that they didn't hear the alarm to proceed to the lifeboats. Evacuation was made even more chaotic.
So wait, I'm sorry. What exactly did they crash into?
An outcrop, like a bunch of rocks. A bunch of rocks.
Okay.
Evacuation was made even more chaotic by the ship listing so far to starboard, making walking inside very difficult and lowering the lifeboats on one side near to impossible. So it is very similar like to Titanic.
Yeah,
where
it's
just
so low you can't get to them. Okay.
Making things worse, the crew had dropped the anchor incorrectly, causing the ship to flop over even more dramatically. Through the confusion, the captain somehow made it into a lifeboat before everyone else had made it off.
Oh my God. That is
Isn't
not
that like
going down with
rule
the ship.
number one?
Yes.
Yes. Listen to this. Schettino said he left the ship when it turned over and that he fell into a lifeboat.
Oh, wow. What
He
a
also
lucky guy.
he fell into the life jacket.
Yes. A transcript of a recorded conversation between Schettino and Gregoria De Falco, the on-duty Italian Coast Guard commander, was broadcast around the world. It details a furious De Falco repeatedly ordering Schettino to leave the lifeboat and return to the stricken Costa Concordia. De Falco did not believe Schettino's explanation of how he fell into the lifeboat or his excuse for not returning to his vessel because it was too dark and the lifeboat had stopped moving. De Falco also proclaimed to Schettino, "You've abandoned ship. I'm in charge now." At one point, De Falco was so angered at Schettino's excuses that he told Schettino, "Vada a bordo, cazzo," literally fucking get on board, but also translated as get the fuck on board, get on board for fuck's sake, or get on board, damn it. This recorded soundbite turned into a t-shirt slogan in Italy. Like it got really popular that everybody was wearing this t-shirt that was like, get on board for fuck's sake. Schettino also complained he would have returned to the ship by helicopter if it were possible. Carlo Galli, a Giglio police officer, found Schettino and offered to get him a dinghy to get him back to the ship, but Schettino declined.
So at this point, I'm sorry, I know he took a lifeboat, but is he still in the water when people are telling him get back to the ship?
I think
or
so.
Is he on land?
I think he's back. I think he's on water.
Okay.
Galli also said that Schettino was dry despite supposedly falling from the ship. Schettino argued that he fell into a lifeboat because of how the ship was listing to one side, but this argument proved unconvincing. In 2015, a court found Schettino guilty of manslaughter, causing a shipwreck, abandoning ship before passengers and crew were evacuated, and lying to authorities about the disaster. He was sentenced to 16 years in prison.
Whoa.
And he started serving those in 2017. 35 people died.
Now, how did they die?
They drowned.
Okay. It crashed into the rocks.
And they may have been injured, but like I think they were all drowning victims that were trapped inside the boat. Because they weren't given the emergency warnings and they didn't know to leave their cabins.
So the boat sunk and they drowned.
Yeah. And then the boat, there's so much information on this. I read a really interesting first-person story from a pianist who worked on the ship. That was almost what I was going to share. But then I thought this drama of this
unbelievable
of this captain and having the affair and then sneaking off the ship and going to prison. I found it so fascinating. This pianist talks about escaping from the ship and how, like, you know, when you work on a ship, you're also trained in how to help other passengers, you know, but like when he got to the meeting point of where he was supposed to help people, there was no one there meeting him. Like, you're supposed to meet as a group. And then another guy said, you know, everyone for themselves.
Oh, shit.
Like, just get the fuck off the boat.
Oh, my God.
And then he was like, we're doomed basically. But then he remembered his daughter and was like, I'm going to try to get off this boat. And like that half the life, it was really just so similar sounding to the Titanic.
Yeah.
Where it was like half the lifeboats weren't going and like people were just running and screaming. And like, it sounded so awful. And he lived with such remorse and survivor's guilt that he survived, but like a couple people in his band from the ship didn't.
Where did you find the article so we can look at this?
This one is from sky.com.
Okay.
And this CNN actually has so much coverage of this.
Oh, okay.
Like, because they cover the search for survivors, the trial, the ship actually was there for a couple of years just on its side.
Oh.
And they were like, we can see the ship from space. Like, it's massive.
Hold on, Garen is showing me a picture of...
That's the ship on its side.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's basically almost just flat on its side.
Yeah.
It looks like a building. Wow.
And it was all human error.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, it's
kinda
completely
tell me if I saw
preventable.
that.
Completely preventable.
Imagine that he had to like explain why he did it.
And then he, in the trial, blamed every other person but himself.
I think I did read about this, but I didn't realize it was that long ago.
It's so crazy. I mean, it's a really fascinating.
There was a 70-meter gash
Oh.
that allowed water to pour in, and the ship eventually capsized and came to rest
okay.
on its side.
Thank you. Wow. Oh, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Hours into a 7-day cruise. They
Oh,
didn't
they
even
started.
go. They didn't even go anywhere.
They didn't even get
Jesus.
to like do funny pictures in the photo booth or do
Nothing
a
good.
Fight off an assault or anything.
no right or a scavenger hunt.
Anyway, don't go
All
to
right,
cruise.
don't go on cruise. Okay,
And we'll be back.
right after this.
Imagine the softest sheets you've ever felt. Now imagine them getting even softer over time. That's what you'll feel with Boll & Branch's best-selling signature sheets in 100% organic cotton. In a recent customer survey, 96% replied that Boll & Branch sheets get softer with every wash. Start getting your best night's sleep in sheets that get softer and softer for years to come. Try their sheets with a 30-night guarantee. Plus, get 15% off with your first order at bollandbranch.com, code WONDERY15. Exclusions apply. See site for details.
Canva presents the killer of productivity. It was an ordinary workday until...
Oh no, this meeting could have been an email.
Run. Canva had a creative solve.
Get email. I'll just put the info the team needs in a Canva doc, and I'll make it visual with images, charts, and graphics.
Bring productivity killers to justice with creativity. Love your work at canva.com.
Have we started?
Yes.
Yeah, go do.
Hey.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
We've been having a great break.
So much fun.
Oh my gosh. Just
Oh my God,
laughing
laughing.
so much.
Peeing.
You know what?
What?
I'm so excited
Yes.
about our guest,
Yes,
Jen
me too.
Kober. I know she's funny, and she's so funny she has a new special.
Yes.
No Flies on Me.
Yes.
Go to our website and watch it. What's wrong
And
with
what
you?
is what's the website? Is it just jenkober.com?
It is jenkober.com.
Kober.
Yes,
spell
ma'am.
it.
Like sober, but with a K.
Oh, very good.
That's how I have learned to tell people.
Smart.
A lot of people try to spell it with a C. I
Yep.
don't
Yeah.
know why. It is a...
It happens with my name all the time. I get it.
I got the cobra thing as a kid a
Ooh.
lot, right? Like a snake thing, which
That's
I
cool,
didn't enjoy.
though.
I guess it was better than other things, right?
Yeah.
I went to school with a kid named Lipschitz, and I felt
Oh,
so
no.
sorry
Yeah,
for that. I was like, oh my, like we were in theater school. I was like, change your name, kid. Like,
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
in theater.
right.
you're going into the biz. You
Yeah.
can't be Howard Lipschitz. That can't be your name.
I was called Danielson after Karate Kid.
Oh, that's a good
Yeah,
one. That's a good. That's a
that
good
is a
Gen.
good one.
yeah,
Gen
but
X
if you're
nickname.
a girl, you don't want to be called Danielson.
No, but I mean,
not in fifth grade.
I was one summer at summer camp. I was Big Mo, and I wasn't really sure what that was about, but I just went with it. It didn't seem
Okay.
terribly feminine, but
It doesn't
also,
seem nice.
I'm not sure what Mo was short for, so I also
I have a
was
couple
like,
of guesses.
Yeah, I did too. It could have been the mullet.
Were you ever called that?
Big Mo.
No, with my last name is Cockrell, you'd think
Yeah.
I would have a smorgasbord of names to pick from,
But people didn't
You didn't
say
get a
like
you didn't
cock
get a
and
name?
no, I think cockroach was the worst.
Oh, that's not bad. on the first half of the show.
Oprah Winfrey,
yes.
by the way, does endorse my special. She loves.
What do you mean she endorses
I
it?
have a little picture. She held up my thing and she thought it was very
What?
funny. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Oprah Winfrey and Dolly Parton have both.
What?
Yes.
How did
Listen,
who told them?
I have friends in low places, and I got
at
my
you.
special into the hands of some
Good for
good
you.
people and made them hold up the little poster of it and stuff. So
Look, we'll hold up a
That's
poster.
fantastic.
thank you.
we're lower than low places.
No, listen,
but-
I'm aligning ourselves. Look, we have to think big for ourselves, Danielle.
Yeah. Well, the first half of the show, we talked about how to survive a cruise, and now we are also going to talk about how to survive a cruise, but in a
Yes.
very specific way.
I took my mother, who is a very complicated, insane woman,
Okay.
on a gay cruise with me.
Okay.
I got booked on a gay cruise, and I thought
to do stand up.
to do stand up.
Great.
Wonderful.
And when my agent called me to be like, I booked you on a gay cruise, I thought it was going to be like half gay ladies.
Sure.
And then half gay fellas.
Okay.
And then like, boom, glitter everywhere.
Yes.
Just like, that's what I thought.
They'd run into each other and
Yes.
glitter would.
I just thought it was going to be like just a rainbow fun thing.
right.
And so I'm like, I'm going to bring my mom. It'll be so much fun, right? And I was single at the time, and so I thought this will be fun.
Does your mother? Is she fine with you being gay? Is there a problem? Has there ever been a problem?
She had some trouble with it in the beginning.
Okay.
She never had a problem with gay people. She just didn't want me to be gay.
Gotcha,
right? Like, it was
gotcha,
that.
gotcha.
So, she did tell me I murdered the child she raised.
Oh,
but,
Jesus Christ!
but
She
she
had a
really
slight
did.
problem with it.
She really did come around. I feel like, and has made some lovely strides.
Oh my God! Please put that on a T-shirt and sell that at your show.
I know, right? Like it's one of the funnier moments in my show. But she's going on this trip with me, and look, she's always had gay men in her life, right?
Okay.
She had gay hairdressers, and the guy who decorates her house at the holidays is a gay fella, and like she has gay men in her life, and I don't think would ever say anything off the wall. And really, that's the only requirement for going on this.
Yeah,
Where does
so
she
you're not-
live?
She lives in Lake Charles, Louisiana.
Oh, so she's got those southern gay guys.
Yes.
Okay.
The Southern gays, and so
Terrific.
there it's a little different of a.
It's a subset,
vibe.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a very specific
Yeah.
niche within the market. So we go. I get booked on this gay cruise, and I think it's going to be this big thing. And when my mother and I get there, it is 5,000 gay men.
Oh.
And me and my mama. It is there
aren't any women?
There's no women on the trip. There's like two of these gay boys brought their moms or / fruit fly, right? Like
Is that the new term?
That's the new term.
That we used to use a different term
Yes,
that we
we
don't
did.
use anymore. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's either I don't think it is. I don't think it's better, but it just doesn't say the word you're not
Yeah,
supposed to
right,
say.
right. Oh my God, that's amazing. Are there separate cruises for lesbians? Is that
There
what?
are.
There are, because didn't Rosie O'Donnell do a bunch of those?
Yes,
Okay.
she had a company for a while.
Okay.
Our Family Vacations.
That's right.
That did gay
right.
family cruises, and her wife Kelly got that company in the divorce, and I still go on things with them.
Okay.
But now it's our family instead of our family, right?
Oh, they
R
changed
is
it.
for Rose, and that's our
Rosie.
family.
Okay.
Did
Vacations.
was this your first cruise as a performer? This one you're talking about?
It was my first gay cruise as
Okay.
a performer. I had done other cruise work with other, but what happens is the travel group books you. So I'm not being hired by Norwegian ships.
Yeah.
I'm being hired by this group.
Okay.
And so we're on Allure of the Seas, which is the biggest, it might be the biggest cruise ship
Okay.
on the planet.
Okay.
It is a moving mall. It
Yes.
is
Right.
it is like something like 27 story. It's a
Oh my
boat. It's
God.
insane. It's insanity.
Full of gay men.
Full of gay. Everywhere we go are gay men.
Okay.
And here's the problem, y'all. I'm a short-haired lady.
Uh-huh.
So from behind, I look like a fella.
Okay.
So they kept greeting me the way they greet each other.
Which is
By
what?
trying to put their little hot dog in my buns. And I was like, yes, y'all, I got me too'd on the gay cruise. This is what I'm telling you.
What?
They kept trying to like come up behind me and kind of, and I was like, hey, friends, lady, I'm a lady.
Wait a second.
Sorry.
You're saying it's normal behavior
I am
for
telling
a man
you.
on a gay cruise to just rub his dick in your butt?
Yes.
Garen, can you verify?
I watched.
I have yet to be on a gay cruise.
Okay.
I think you may want to book it. Despite everything Christine said in the first half, you may want to get yourself on
I was trying not to pay too much attention.
It is.
He shut his ears.
But that's just a normal thing?
Listen, when you take women out of the equation,
Oh, things get
men
shady?
are nasty
Okay.
pigs. Nasty. This is what I learned. I saw so much on that boat that I'd never seen. First of all, I saw a grown man, dressed like a dog. Have you seen this?
Oh,
it's
yes.
a little niche within the leather.
Like a furry?
It's a niche
The
within the leather
puppies,
community
yeah.
called puppies and daddies.
No.
So the younger one dresses like a puppy. And the older one has him on like a leash and is leading him around the Lido deck. Now listen. Here's
gotta
the
go
thing.
potty.
This is what I'm saying. That's what I thought. I was like, "Are you walking your gay right now?" I have never. He had on like a leather mask that was
Oh my
shaped like a
God.
dog's face, no eye holes, ears, right, covered. He's wearing a chest harness and a Speedo because that's
Yeah.
their uniform.
Sure.
He's wearing a collar.
Yeah, of
because
course.
that's the law.
Yeah.
And then he's got the paw covers on his hands
Okay.
and his feet. He's got a full tail. I'm gonna let you think about how that's attached.
Oh, no.
There you go.
Because he's
Okay.
wearing a Speedo.
Yes. So he's got a full
But
tail.
I would imagine, and maybe I'm being naive here, that
You
the
are, but-
other
I can already tell you are.
that most of the other gay men on this cruise are probably like, what the fuck's with that guy?
No, ma'am.
No?
No, ma'am. Listen.
This is just-
the big ship cruises are a little more. Look, I'm
It's Eyes
sure
Wide
there
Shut,
are
isn't it?
there are small pockets of people that are like voyeurs that are like watching
Sure.
and laughing and sort of moving, right? Like,
Okay.
because here's the truth. I mean, this might be the only week that these two
Yeah.
fellas get to be gay. I don't know what their life
Yeah.
is. They
Yeah,
might be
this is
bankers in Ohio that like are completely closeted. So
This is a
I don't want
Brokeback
to
Cruise situation.
Right. I don't want to be disrespectful, but also I'm not made of wood. So when I see a guy dressed like a
No,
dog,
it's
I just
silly.
start laughing.
It's
I
silly.
can't stop laughing.
And so, how is your mother reacting to
my
all this?
mother
Oh my
is
God, your
like
mother.
my mother is just sort of wide-eyed, taking it all. I gave her a cocktail and just sat her down and like let her people watch. Right?
in
Like
the
what else
corner.
am I gonna? Yeah,
Face in
Mama,
the corner,
you stay.
don't turn around.
You stay here and do not touch anything.
Don't touch
Don't
a banister.
touch the people.
Don't pet the dog.
If you, I mean, but honey, by day 3, your feet are sticking to the floor. Like it's.
Oh my God.
Yes,
No.
it is a lot. I'm telling you, it is so much.
All right. Is there like open intercourse going on in front of you?
Okay, we're getting to that.
Sorry,
now.
didn't mean to
I
jump
love-
ahead in the story.
Well, the dog fella, I think caught me so off guard because you will never see a lesbian dressed like a dog.
Right.
And if you do, that bitch is raising money for an animal shelter. Yes. It's not sexual at all. Do you know what I mean? She just wants you to spay or neuter your cat. She's not trying to, there's nothing. I mean, I just couldn't even believe what I was seeing. And then I kept hearing whispers all over the boat. About something called the Dick Deck.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
Now listen, let me say this. The porn that I enjoy is gay porn. Nothing gets me more excited than watching a very big guy just take a little twink and bend him over and
kidding.
just go. No, I know it. I don't know what's
It's
wrong
like,
with me.
You know what?
There's something wrong
Is
with
that
you.
a
but-
thing? Because
I don't know.
did you ever see this movie, The Kids Are All Right?
Yes,
With Mark Ruffalo.
Yes, it's this.
And I was
so
like,
there
they
must be
they
a
loved,
niche. Yes,
Have you seen this movie with Annette Bening and Julianne more, and
yeah.
one of them ends up having
I did see it,
sex
but
with
why
Mark
don't I ever-
Ruffalo, but like
Yeah.
they're in a committed lesbian
Lesbian
relationship.
relationship.
They raise kids together, but their thing is they love to
Oh,
watch
yes. I do
gay
remember
men
this.
porn, and I was like,
know
oh,
why.
that's so surprising.
I love it when the bigger guy like bends the little twink over, and then I want the camera to come around. And I just want to see like one tear.
Oh my God.
One tear come down the little tiny one's face. Like I don't know what it is about that, but that's so when I kept hearing there's a dick deck,
You're
I'm
like, I have to check
I'm
that
like,
out.
Yeah.
listen, you gotta. So
That's my thing.
I find the little cruise director, and I'm like, James, you gotta take me. I want to see the dick deck. He goes, you can't go up there. I'm like, bitch, I'm not trying to participate, but isn't there like a little curtain I can like peek behind and see what's going on?
You're on a ship. Why not get one of those, submarine things?
Right, like a port window
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something. So he says, so he thinks about it for a minute. He goes, I know where I can take you. Come on.
I love that the cruise director knows everything. They just ins and outs.
Ins and outs of all of it. And well, he's a little gay boy who works for the company, not the cruise line. So he's
Okay.
like, come here, girl. So he takes me to the end of the ship. We walk the 15 miles to the back of the ship.
Right.
We go up like 4 different staircases. We climb a ladder, and we are on like a wooden plank that juts out at the back of the ship.
That's terrifying.
And there's a bay of windows in front of us. And he goes, there it is. That's the dick deck. And I'm like, are there snacks? Does somebody have like a concession stand up here? You could see
Okay.
everything. I mean, I watched a fella come up off his knees and then plant a kiss on another guy, and I was just like, like this. And this was pre-COVID, so I was like, we got to get some hand gel.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
We need to
Just from
sanitize.
watching it.
I need to be sanitized just watching it. Just
But
seeing
you're watching
this.
it through a glass, right?
Through glass, through windows.
Safe. It's safer.
It is. And I see a guy who, I mean, I hate to make stereotypes, but there are fellas who you would look at and never think they were gay,
Sure.
right? Like big trucker looking
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
guys, like just to generalize.
Okay.
So I see this guy and he looks like Brutus from Popeye.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking
Yes,
about? Like he
100%.
looks like a giant fat pirate. And I was like, this guy is gay. And he bends over and I'm like, this guy's a bottom. Like I couldn't even
No.
believe it. I was laughing so hard.
I'm
And
taking
he-
it your mother did not make the trip up the stairs.
My mother did not go up the stairs.
Okay.
I was putting my mom to bed at like 6:30 every night because I was like, you don't need
she
to
was
see
exhausted
this. Just
from
go night-night.
shock.
We'll see everybody at breakfast. So we get to.
Wait till she see what breakfast is.
I know. Listen. So I see this fella, Big Brutus, gets sort of bent over towards the windows,
Okay.
and I see him. Right. He's. If we're speaking in softball terms, he is catching. Someone
Yes.
else is pitching, and
Okay.
he's taking one for the team. So he is going at it, and I am just tickled. Again,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to laugh at anybody, but this was funny to me
Yeah.
that the biggest, meanest looking guy in there is like
Yeah. He's the
getting-
twink. And,
taking it. Yeah. And so I'm delighted and sort of laughing, and then all of a sudden Brutus locks eyes with me, like he's right, and I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna look away. If you think you're gonna embarrass me and make me look away, you picked the wrong bitch. So I just stayed with him and just locked eyes until he rounded home and got where he was going. And I was like, oh, thank God there are 5,000 gay men on this boat, and I'm never going to see this guy again.
Right.
Of course.
Cut to breakfast the next
Oh, no.
morning, and here comes Brutus. He's looking at me.
No.
Right? And he looks at me, and he starts walking towards me. And I'm like, oh God! I'm sitting there with my mother. I'm like, right? And he goes, I know you.
Oh no.
And I'm like, no. He goes,
Yeah, I was the
no,
umpire.
I recognize your face. I've seen your face. And my mother goes, well, she's been on TV, right? Like my mother's trying to like figure out what show he's seen me in. And then I see it hit him where he knows me from. He realizes it. And he looks at me and he goes, y'all have a nice day. Right? And he just walks away, and my mother does not know how close she came to like getting the full story.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
My sphincter has never been so tight in my life. I was scared.
Oh, I know how you know me. I watched you get taken from behind.
I watched you get plowed upstairs.
We had an experience together.
Nelly. Yeah, I know.
Oh my God.
Shared a moment.
I was the man in that fantasy, just so you know. Just for the record.
So what I want to know is, how did the shows go?
Oh, fantastic. Gay men love me.
I bet they're a great audience.
They're a great audience. They know everything that's on TV.
Yes.
Right? All the cultural references, everything popular. They're so in on it. Plus, they're still up on what's going on sort of politically in the community and things like that. They love raunch. They love, moments when you kind of break away and mess with somebody in the audience, things like that. And I just
clearly there's no, because some cruises have restrictions. There's no restrictions on what you can and cannot talk about.
If you can get a circle jerk at breakfast, there's not going to be.
You can't say fuck.
Let's tell the comedian not to say shit. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, Jen, we can't thank you enough for coming. But also tell us what the name of your podcast is.
My podcast is called Bitchin' Over Biscuits. We tackle a different genre of podcast every week. My thinking there was that all of our podcasts would get listed in all the genres, and thus we would become incredibly... And it really just gives us a topic to talk about. So we pick a different genre of podcast every week, and we have a surprise celebrity guest, and we eat biscuits while we bitch about the topic. It's super fun. So I would love to have all of you on.
Oh, I'd love to come.
We'd love to come.
Absolutely love to.
And I love to bitch.
And my wife makes the biscuits.
Oh, wow.
These are homemade biscuits.
I mean,
so this is
you had us
authentic Southern
cooking.
Is
so yes, with all the butter and all the, and she can make them gluten free. She can make them dairy free. She can do all of the. I know.
I just want to know if there's lard in them or if they're vegetarian.
They are not vegetarian. She can make them that way if you would like her to.
I don't mean
or you
vegan.
Need her to.
I just mean there's lard or something.
There's some, and she oftentimes uses a little bit of bacon grease.
Yeah, so that's why I'd have to.
But she can make some. Yeah, she makes them all sorts of ways. She one of her kids has celiac, so can't have gluten, and her other kid has a dairy allergy. So she got into baking actually, so that she could learn how to make all the things for them. So she will oftentimes put like a chocolate raspberry buttercream cupcake in my hand, and I'll be like, "Oh my God, that was the greatest thing I've ever had." She'll be like, "Gluten and dairy free," and I'm like, "Bitch, what are you doing? Stop that!" You can tell me ahead of time. I'm still gonna eat it, but
I think we all want to marry your wife.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
I know.
Your life sounds really good.
She's
so good.
Look, it wasn't always, and it has really taken a nice little upswing here at the end.
So nice.
Well,
I'm very glad.
We're so glad to have you on.
Yes.
We're going to check out your special.
No flies on me.
That's right.
Did I say it the way it should be said?
Yep. No flies on me. That's it.
That's great. And that story was fantastic.
That was
Thank you so much
funny.
for sharing.
Of course.
And we will be right back with What Did We Learn Today?
This episode is sponsored by AutoTrader. There's a good chance you're driving right now. Look around. Safely. What do you see? Cars. Lots of them. And guess what? They're probably on AutoTrader. Whether you're into timeless classics or the latest trends. Did somebody say solar-powered, eco-friendly, vegan, leather-wrapped, aromatherapy-scented, disco ball-equipped, self-driving car? If you see it on the road, you can likely find it on AutoTrader. Big cars, small cars, blue cars, new cars, used cars, electric cars, and one day, maybe even flying cars. With millions to choose from, buying a car becomes a whole lot easier. See it, find it, AutoTrader. Find your next car on autotrader.com.
This podcast is brought to you by eHarmony, the dating app to find someone you can be yourself with. Why doesn't eHarmony allow copy and paste in first messages? Because you are unique, and your conversations should reflect that. eHarmony wants you to find someone who will get you. How are you going to know who gets you if people send you the same generic conversation starters they message everyone else? Conversations that actually help you get to know each other. Imagine that. Get who gets you on eHarmony. Sign up today.
Christine.
Yes.
Are you ready to learn what we learned today?
Oh my God, please.
You can get Stephen Kieran's excellent stories at Stephen Kieran, StephenKearin at Substack.com.
And we just put a link in our Substack.
Yeah.
You want it? Go to our Substack.
Actually, and I did put a link in our newsletter, this the one that comes out last week. Meaning today. But last week. Hurtigruten, a Norwegian cruise line, is charting a course towards a greener future with plans to launch the world's first zero-emission cruise ship by 2030. The ambitious project, aptly named C0, is a beacon of innovation in sustainable maritime travel. This world's most energy efficient and first zero-emission cruise ship was first floated in March 2022. From Fortune.com, in a protest blending whimsy and frustration, thousands of Barcelona residents turned against mass tourism. They were armed with an unlikely weapon, the water pistol. The Los Rambles district, a popular tourist site, turned into an impromptu water park as protesters squirted water guns at unsuspecting tourists enjoying their alfresco meals. Since the pandemic, tourists have visited the historic city in record numbers. In 2023, 23 million visitors stayed overnight in Barcelona, dwarfing the city's population of 1.62 million. Oh my God. What?
Go ahead. Sorry.
These visitors also spent $13.8 billion, or about 15% of the city's income, according to Barcelona City Council. Yet the ABDT argues the average citizen doesn't enjoy these profits and instead faces soaring house costs, precarious employment, and lower quality of life. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say to our listeners, there are a lot of other places you can visit when you go on a vacation that aren't the major cities.
Yeah.
Like, I think people feel like, oh, well, I'm going to Paris. I better go to the Louvre and I better go to the Eiffel Tower. And like, that's the rules that you have to check these things off your list. No, you don't. A lot of the times, all you're going to do is stand in a long, hot line.
That's true.
And you're going to see something from far away. Like, you're going to see the Mona Lisa behind 300 people's heads. And you're going to say, oh, it's really small. Okay, I checked it off my list.
Yeah.
But like, don't. Just go do something else.
Yeah, that's true.
You'll have more fun.
As of December 2023, the Icon of the Seals is the world's largest cruise ship, with a capacity of up to 7,600 passengers and 2,350 crew members. I do have a show to recommend.
Let's hear it.
This is completely off topic, but there is a show on Peacock called Mr. Throwback.
Oh, is this with Adam Pally?
Yes.
And Steph Curry?
Yes.
I was going to try it with my kids. Is it kid watching?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kid watchingable?
Yeah, there's nothing dirty about it. Rich Summers on it, and he's hysterical.
Love Rich Summer.
The woman who plays Adam Pally's wife, I don't know her name, I'm sorry, but she's great. It's really funny.
I love really funny.
I swear to God, I don't know who Adam Pally is. Everyone keeps saying it like I'm supposed to know.
Well, you didn't watch The Mindy Project.
No.
He was great on The Mindy Project. I know he was he on Happy Endings?
Yes.
I didn't really...
and I didn't watch that
either. I don't think I
either.
watched Happy Endings, but...
You should.
I know, I've heard it's great.
I really liked him on
never seen it.
I liked him a lot on The Mindy Project, and I liked The Mindy Project.
Yeah.
I would call Happy Endings a top 10 sitcom.
I know. Everyone
time.
says, and I never remember to watch it. Anyway, we're very much enjoying it. It's
Okay.
very funny. Steph Curry is a delight.
Okay.
He's sort of kind of Ego Nwodum.
I love her.
She's got a big part. Steph Curry's kind of in the background, but when he's on, he's just funny and lovable.
good.
You just love him. He's just because it's making some of it is making fun of his like insane. I guess he has like an insane work ethic and is completely always working out. So like there's this thing where they're playing golf, but I can't remember what they call it, but it's like speed golf. Oh,
Yes.
It's like cardio golf or something. Like you have to run to each hole.
And it doesn't feel awkward because he's like, you know, when sometimes athletes are in commercials and they're like, I love a Subway sandwich.
Was
that good?
He's sort of
Perfect.
flat.
Okay.
But in the way he probably is in real life.
Okay.
Like, because he was on, if you ever watched Holy Moly.
No.
Which was the mini golf game show that was on. He was on that and he was sort of the same kind of delightful. Like, he's just kind of like low key.
Okay.
And he's making fun of himself and it's very charming.
He plays himself.
He plays
right?
himself, yeah.
Oh, great. Yes.
Adam Pally is his friend from childhood.
Maybe we'll watch it tonight because we need a new show to watch with the kids.
Yeah, it's funny. All right, well.
That was fun.
Until next time.
Remain calm.